I am Desi Smith, and I am doing my career profile for Family 150. The career that I chose is case manager for addiction recovery. The organization that I chose is Lady Liberty House in Idaho Falls, which is owned by my cousin Anna. Lady Liberty House is a sober living facility or halfway house for females in addiction recovery. They offer case management, drug testing, and life skills to their clients. Typically, a case manager would work Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 or 9 to 5. However, there is a 24-hour crisis line, and almost every agency would have someone be on call for that crisis line. So besides that, you would just work a normal 8 to 5. Some of the stressors of being a case manager would be not being able to meet the services that your client needs. For example, if you're trying to find your client housing, there's times that the clients have had a past and burnt bridges and no one will take that client in. No one's willing to house that client. And then it's hard or sometimes nearly impossible for you to be able to match your client with housing, which sometimes can push them to live with someone that's maybe not someone that would be a good support system for them, like someone they previously used drugs with or things like that. So sometimes it can be hard because you do everything you can and sometimes it's just not enough. Another stressor would be billing and how you get paid. There's a couple organizations that you can be a case management worker for. One of them is the BPA, which is Business Psychological Associate, which is basically funding for substance abuse programs and in substance abuse disorders in an outpatient setting. So if you are a case manager for BPA, you are only required to meet with your clients face-to-face once a month, but you can still bill for hours that you're working with that client even if you aren't with them. So if you're working on trying to get them housing or clothing or food or a job and they aren't physically with you, you can still bill for that time as long as it's within whatever your client qualifies for. So if your client qualifies for 6 hours a week and you work 9, you can only bill for the 6. You can be a case manager for Medicaid. However, if you're a case manager for Medicaid, it is illegal to bill for any hours that your client is not with you. So that can be hard and stressful. An example that Anna gave me was she had a client that she arranged for transportation to pick them up and meet her at an appointment. The transportation didn't show. She then had to be on the phone calling the transportation department, trying to figure out what was going on, why he wasn't picked up, and how to get him to his appointment. Meanwhile, she's not getting paid for any of this because her client's not physically with her. So that's stressful. Another stressor is that the state of Idaho has really cut back their funding for mental health disorders. And it's been really hard for her because a lot of her clients that really need help aren't able to get it because the funding was cut. So that's stressful because it's clients that you can't help because of things that are kind of out of your control. There are no benefits for being a case manager at working at Lady Liberty House because it is a small organization. Anna, where she's the owner, is self-employed and therefore responsible for her own insurance and 401k and things like that. Common job tasks would be that you are basically your client's advocate. You are the voice for them. You are trying to coordinate them and connect them with services that they may need. You meet with them initially and determine what their needs are, and then you come up with a case plan, and the case plan can include a number of goals, like, for instance, housing or community resources or things like that. Once a week, you would have mental health court, where basically you would meet with your client's team, which could include people like their probation officer, their nurse, their counselors, things like that, to just discuss their treatment plan, how it's going, if changes need to be made, their urine analysis test results, things like that. Another part of your job would be connecting your client with community resources, which would be getting them food boxes, gas vouchers, clothing, and also with vocational rehab. And vocational rehab is available to people with mental health diagnosis. So if someone with a mental health diagnosis wants to get a higher education, like going to cosmetology school, vocational rehab would sometimes be able to help pay for that. It would be able to help pay for getting a new laptop to go to school or getting a car repaired. It even in the past has paid for some of the clients to have dentures and have their rotted teeth removed because they've had severe tooth decay and damage from extended drug use. So that would be part of your job as a case manager. The educational requirements to be a case manager at Lady Liberty House is to have a bachelor's degree in social work or a human services related degree. Now, there are some case management jobs that don't require a degree, they just require experience, and there are some that require a master's, but this one in particular just requires a bachelor's in the field. The salary starting range is typically about $15 per hour, or about just over $31,000 a year. For more experienced case managers, it could be upwards of $19 an hour, which would be just under $40,000 a year. It is a very rewarding career because you are helping people better themselves, but it can be very frustrating because ultimately a lot of it is out of your control and it's the client's choice how they want to move forward with their life. The person that I interviewed again is my cousin Anna Davenport, and she is the owner of Lady Liberty House, and she has a bachelor's degree in psychology. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. I'd love to try and answer them or get with Anna to try and answer them. This is definitely not a career field that I was picturing going into, but the more that I was learning from Anna, the more interested I was and thinking of it more as a possibility. Thank you.